Good morning, beautiful people. It is another Thursday, so I got to get on here and do my weekly walk the talk video. And right now, I just want to remind you that we all have a thing in us that helps us to communicate with the higher power, that lets us know what we're doing is right or wrong. And you can strengthen that thing within you and make it so that you live in congruence with it, and it makes your life way better. And I'm talking about your conscience. We are all born with a conscience, and truthfully, conscience is like your telephone to God. And if you actually pay heed to what it tells you and listen to it and live in congruence with it, that voice that is your conscience grows louder and it gets easier to follow. The problem is that too many of us live in justification. And the reason why you have to justify that is because of your conscience. You feel bad when you know it's bad deep down. So if you're living a life where you're constantly having to explain what you're doing or justify whatever the decisions are that you're making, or have to explain why you didn't do that or why you did do this, it's probably because you're not listening to the voice of your conscience. Now, you can practice listening to the voice of your conscience just by doing what you feel is right. And I know, because I've been way far to the other side, to where I didn't listen to my conscience at all, and I justified for so many years with my addiction and with my crime, being a criminal, that I pushed my conscience down so low that I couldn't even really hear it. And then the only times I would hear it was when I would go to jail or prison, when I would come off of the drugs, then that voice would come back, and then the guilt and the shame would come. And that's also your conscience. See, guilt and shame is not always a bad thing. It's only bad when you aren't listening to your conscience, because really, that guilt and that shame shouldn't get that big as long as you're listening to your conscience in the first place. We are all inherently born with a conscience. It is in our nature. And I've never met one person, well, not personally, that doesn't have a conscience. I'm sure there are some of the psychopaths and serial killers and whatnot. They probably don't have a conscience, or they don't listen to it, But anyways, that's neither here nor there. You have a conscience. And if you're listening to my message, there's a reason, because your conscience is telling you it's something good. Because I honestly listen to my conscience before I make these messages. I pray about it. I really open up my heart and my mind to it before I make any kind of message, because I don't want to steer you wrong. And your conscience will never steer you wrong if you listen to it and pay attention to it and do those things that are good for you in life, those things that help the people in your life, those things that help you. So what is those things that you're still doing in your life that you feel guilty for? Are you still drinking too much? Are you still smoking too much? Are you not paying attention to your family, not spending time with the people in your life that you should be? Are you not putting time and attention into those relationships? Are you not pushing yourself to your full potential? Your conscience will always let you know whether you are or whether you aren't. But you got to stop with the justification, because it pushes your conscience far from you. Makes it way harder to hear it. And listen, I love you. I want you to live the best life possible. I don't want you to be bombarded with guilt and shame and regret. So when you wake up in the morning, you already know what's right. You already know what's wrong. And make sure that when you start your days, when you go through your days, you pay attention to that still small voice that is within you, your conscience. The more you pay attention to it, the louder it gets. I love you guys, and I hope you have an awesome week. And I'll be back. Peace.